What's up YouTube? In today's video I'm going to bring you my long-term review about this bag, the so-called little backpack by the company Compagnon. I bought this bag back in November of 2020, so I've actually had it for about 9 months now. The first video I made about this bag was just a what's in my backpack type of video and not meant to be an actual review. But since I've now had ample time and opportunity to give this backpack a proper run for its money, I finally feel qualified to make a proper review about it before I sell it off. Before we go any further though, this backpack costs a whopping 430 euros brand new. That is a lot of money. I am in no way affiliated with Compagnon and I'm going to be as honest as I can and probably a bit more harsh than I usually would, just in case any of you are actually thinking about spending this much money on a bag and actually buying it. Anyway, if you're just looking for anything specific, as always, feel free to use the timestamps in the description below. Let's get into it. Design and aesthetics are obviously subjective, but I think most people would agree that this is a good looking backpack, especially for a camera bag, which are usually very tacky. It's overall fairly minimalistic on the outside and looks like a good old canvas and leather roll top bag. All the pockets on the outside, 2 on the sides and 1 on the front are completely flat, so they don't ruin the lines of the bag. They are, however, still big enough to fit your wallet, a small filter pouch, passport or mask. Good stuff. The bottom of the backpack is made from a very high quality leather that doesn't seem to show any kind of wear and tear even after 9 months of use. Same for the back panel, which is also made completely off of the same type of leather. Having a leather backside might not be the best choice when it comes to wearability in hot climates, but we'll get to that later on. The top of the shoulder straps are also covered in leather and you get 3 attachment points for gear on the outside of your bag, on either side of the backpack and on the bottom. We'll talk about the functionality of these attachment straps later on, but they are made with aluminium hooks and look very nice indeed. With that being said, if you choose to tighten the straps all the way when they are not in use, you get a good amount of strap hanging off of the front or bottom of your bag, and even though there are small leather loops on the straps, there is no way to further secure them and keep them from dangling all over the place. That is very annoying to look at and kind of ruins the clean appearance, so I chose to keep the straps kind of loose to avoid that issue. The roll top part is all canvas and actually gives you quite a bit of additional space should you ever need it. This is especially useful if you want to be able to stow away some layers of clothing while you are out and about. There are magnets on the top of the lid to keep it shut, and the whole thing is being held in place with a sick Cobra quick release buckle. That buckle alone costs 25 euros and is made by Austrian company Austria Alpine. It's high quality and looks the part. Overall, it is a great bag to look at, with minor issues that will hopefully get solved with the next version. As stated before, the bag is made from beautiful waxed canvas, leather and aluminium, and everything feels extremely high quality, as it should at that price point. The waxed canvas is apparently made in some fancy new way, so that it doesn't have that slightly moist feeling to it, but is still very water repellent. I haven't had any issues with snow or rain getting into this bag, so I guess it works and it does indeed feel great. I have already mentioned the Cobra quick release buckle on the front, so we'll leave it at that. But one thing I haven't mentioned yet is the metric ton of dividers that come with this backpack. That is a very nice fact in and of itself, but furthermore, they also went with some kind of industrial strength velcro that apparently will keep its gripping power way longer than your regular old velcro. So if you are into reconfiguring your backpack all the time, you're good to go with this one. Overall, the backpack also seems to be made very well. It's designed in Germany and is made in Europe. The only minor complaint I have is that the inside of the backpack has occasionally caught onto the zipper of the main compartment, so there is some visible fraying on those spots. Also, the waxed canvas that is used for this backpack, like all waxed canvas, collects dust like nobody's business. But other than that, it's made very well and I love the high quality materials. Top marks all around. I won't go into too much detail on this since I've already made a whole layout video before, but I was able to fit everything plus the kitchen sink in this backpack, even though this is considered to be the quote-unquote little backpack. It is in fact the little brother to the Backpack 2.0, which is basically the same thing but bigger. For me though, the small backpack was more than enough. Granted, I'm a Fuji shooter, my X-T30 is a very small camera, and I have chosen my lenses with size in mind. So my gear is set up in a way to use space very efficiently, but still, I was able to fit my DJI Mini 2 along with the controller, my X-T30 with the 10-24mm attached, my 50-200mm, the 16mm f1.4, the Viltrox 56mm f1.4 and the 18-55 in there, no problem. Along with that, I also still have a spot for my beloved X100V, my Maxpedition skinny pouch, which contains all kinds of items that might come in handy whilst out and about, and my Rode lavalier mic with an aux to lightning adapter. You can also fit a notebook up to 13 inches inside of the back panel, so I had to leave my 15-inch MacBook Pro at home and usually just went with the 11-inch iPad Pro instead. Not complaining though, the iPad Pro is an absolute powerhouse and I love it to bits. One thing I do need to mention though is that you definitely feel it when you carry an iPad or notebook in this backpack. It's way harder to close and there's a lot less give in the back panel. That's not surprising obviously, but it does make the back panel even less comfortable. We'll get back to that point later on though. The inside of the back lid is basically a spot for Velcro patches and the backpack comes with 2 flat Velcro mesh pockets and a Velcro SD holder. I was able to carry my Anker USB Type-C hub and my RAV Power SSD with a USB-C to USB-C cable in one of the pockets and some spare batteries for my Fuji cameras in the other pocket, no problem. As stated earlier, the top compartment allows for additional flexible storage that can be adjusted to your specific needs. I found myself using the top compartment all the time to carry my jackets and some snacks and other daily use items like sunscreen and disinfectants fluid. One thing I quickly want to mention is the fact that there are no side access points. I personally prefer to have side access to quickly get to my gear, but apparently there are a lot of people who don't like them, so I guess it's just a matter of personal preference. You have to get the shoulder straps out of the way to get into your main compartment, and with the zipper occasionally snagging on the inside of the backpack, getting into your gear can take more time than you might think. So in my opinion, this backpack is mostly useful to carry your gear from point A to point B and not to work out of in a hurry. There are other backpacks for that. With that out of the way though, this is a great backpack that can hold a lot of gear if you manage to set it up the right way. It also does stand upright on its own when it's loaded up, which is another bonus in my book. Me personally, I would prefer to have side access doors on at least one, better yet on both sides, but oh well, the world is probably not ready for such glory. One can only dream. Up until now, the review has been mostly positive, but we haven't talked about what is arguably the most important part of any backpack yet, the carrying system. This backpack's carrying system is fairly simple, as it should be on a backpack of its size. It's 2 shoulder straps and a chest strap. It also does come with a hip belt, but that is just a thin strap and not load bearing, so I'll just ignore it for this part of the review. The carrying system is, and there's no other way to put it, not good. To start off, the shoulder straps are fairly thin. There is some fairly thick padding in there, but that padding is only in an even thinner part of the strap. So if you get all the weight of this backpack with all your gear in it compressed down on 2 thin straps of thick padding on your shoulders, that is just a recipe for disaster. The chest strap definitely helps to better distribute the weight, but it's still not good, and I don't want to use the chest strap all the time. Now maybe that's just me, maybe my shoulders are just a bit weird, but I actually consider myself to be very well versed when it comes to backpacking, hiking and rucking. So just for comparison's sake, I can load this Gorak Rucker, the gold standard when it comes to backpacks, up with as much weight as I want to. In fact, these backpacks are made for rucking and you can buy special weight plates just to further torture yourself while you're out and about in nature, cause that's good for the soul. But anyway, the Gorak is able to carry all that weight and then some, and I've loaded it up to the brim on long day hikes north of 25 kilometers a day without it hurting my shoulders or my back. With the Compagnon, however, I got serious pain in my shoulders and more specifically in my collarbone after just 45 minutes of leisurely strolling through town. It's unbearable, and I am fairly sure that it's caused by that thin padding, because that issue was way less noticeable when I used this backpack last winter whilst wearing more heavily padded jackets. To make matters even worse, the weight inside of this backpack is distributed, by design, in such a way that all the heavy items, your camera gear, is pressed as far away from your back as possible. Remember, the back panel is the lid of your gear compartment, and the bottom of that compartment is actually the outside of your backpack. So that means that the weight of the backpack is basically distributed in such a way that it feels like someone is pulling on you from behind. And you can seriously feel that. In addition to the high pressure you get on your collarbone, you can also feel it pulling on the skin on top of your shoulders. The bottom of the straps are made with a very grippy material, which makes this issue even worse, because it doesn't give the skin any way to move around underneath the shoulder straps. Again, that's an issue that I noticed more and more recently while carrying it with a t-shirt and not as much whilst carrying it with a jacket. To be fair, these problems are not unique faults of this backpack. They are issues that many camera backpacks face, and for good reason. The upside of such a layout is, of course, that you don't have to lay the back panel, that is touching your fancy hipster jacket, on the dirty floor to get to your gear. Because who wants a dirty jacket, right? The Rucker, on the other hand, doesn't care about that. It knows that you will get dirt on your gear, so just suck it up. That's why you have to load up the Rucker from the front, and why the pouch for your weight plates is actually attached right up against your back and raised slightly up from the bottom. With that being said, again, it's not an issue with the Compagnon, but more of an issue with most camera backpacks that the Compagnon just also suffers from. It's once again down to personal preference though, and I guess the market already took the vote on that subject. I really wanted to like this backpack so badly. It looks wonderful, is made from the best materials, by a small brand here in Germany that is actually located just about an hour away from where I live. Listen, I even drove there last November during full COVID lockdown to collect my camera backpack in person because I was so excited to get it. I don't mind spending a lot of money on gear if it's worth it, so the price really wasn't an issue here for me. The quality of the materials and the fact that it's designed here in Germany and made in Europe certainly makes up for the price in my opinion. But because of its carrying system, I just can't bring myself to use it anymore, and it's just way too expensive to just have it lying around collecting dust. So I decided to sell it. In fact, I'm going to ship it out right after I'm done with this video. If on the other hand you only use your camera backpack to get your gear from your house to your car to any stationary shooting location, this backpack will work great for you and probably last you a lifetime. If you do, however, want to use this for hiking, traveling, etc., it's probably not the right choice for you either. At least not with the current generation of carrying system. Now, Compagnon also does offer a backpack specifically made for a more rugged and adventurous type of photographer, the Element backpack. That backpack is made from the X-Pack fabric, which I have experienced on other backpacks like the Able Carry Daily Carry, and I can attest it is a very rugged fabric indeed. And it also comes with what looks like to be a much better carrying system that even sports a removable padded hip belt. But that backpack is also a lot bigger than what I need in my day-to-day life, and it doesn't look as good as its canvas siblings. So while I am very interested in giving the Element a try, I'm not sure if it would be the right choice for me either. So what do you think about this backpack? Do you have any experience using it yourself? I'd love to hear from you, so let me know down in the comments below. Also, regarding Compagnon as a company, I seriously hope that they will continue to improve on this design further down the road. Because if it was comfortable to carry, I would give it a glowing 9.5 out of 10 review and not even think about selling it. So please, Compagnon, take this as constructive criticism. You make great gear, now make it perfect. But anyway, that's it for today. Again, let me know what you think in the comments below and give this video a thumbs up if it was useful to you. Also, I make videos about camera gear, EDC gear and bags all the time, so if you're interested in that, feel free to subscribe. Until next time, take care.